Hello, everyone. This is James, your neighborhood realtor here. Today, I wanted to talk to you about moving here to Florida. So, July 28th will mark my 12th year in which I moved to Florida. Man, that's a long time. I had to really calculate. 12th year, I moved to Florida. What have I learned within those 12 years? Let's go ahead and talk about that. Hi, guys. This is James. I moved here from New York to Florida in around 2011 in July. And I have to say that if I knew how my life would have been, compared to where I was now or compared to where I am now, I would not have even believed it. So I just want to talk to you because if you're someone that may be on the fence of moving to Florida, or you're in the process of moving to Florida, or just been thinking about moving to Florida, I just want to give you some things in which I kind of learned and what maybe you need to be adjusted to when living here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the weather. All right. So we all know Florida is hot. Florida is really hot. And we all know if you're somewhere from New York or somewhere up north, in that matter, that it could get really cold here. I want people to realize that Florida actually gets cold here. All right. So even though the temperature may be anywhere from 60 or even 50 or even 40 degrees, it may not seem that cold. That's you may not even need a jacket in that weather in New York, but here in Florida, that's actually pretty cold. And I know sometimes I get made fun of because of thinking it, but even seeing people new to Florida who have, those misconceptions, they realize once they come down here, when those cold times happen, which is maybe about a month within the year, maybe like two, let's give it a say, that it really gets cold. So I just want you to prepare for that, because if you're not, you're thinking that Florida is all about shorts and flip-flops, you may be a little bit wrong. Also, what I would recommend too, as well, just kind of going with that, is to make sure you bring a nice jacket. I know if you're moving, you're probably thinking about throwing away all those, winter clothes, but keep a jacket, keep a decent jacket. One of the things I remember when moving to Florida, I got so adjusted to the weather that I believe it was in November, I went to Atlanta. I was going to Atlanta, and I didn't even remember to bring a jacket until I was leaving for the airport, because you just forget sometimes that, not everywhere is like this. So make sure, just remember the weather and try to bring a jacket. Second thing, and I hear it a lot from some clients that I do have, is the traffic lights. All right, guys, these traffic lights compared to up north are very long. All right, so some of these could be like 3 to 5 minutes, and a lot of people are in shock about how long, and sometimes impatient about how these lights are. But if it's something in which you kind of know and prepare, then you'll be able to go ahead and take care of it. But that's something that I definitely noticed when I moved here, is that, I guess we could even go along that route, that things move a little bit slower pace compared to up there. It's just, and when I mean slower, it's more relaxed here. It's not, when I lived in New York, everything was go, 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 do it now. But here it's more relaxed, and it's kind of it's symbolized basically in those traffic lights, those traffic signs, because they're definitely going to test your patience. Another thing about moving to Florida, and this is someone that has family or kids, young kids, that sports, especially sports like baseball, and even if you're a golf fan, it's year long, right? So when we are up north, you probably only have about maybe like 3 to 5 months of good weather in which you can go ahead and play those outdoor sports. Well, here you have that year round. So it's very fun and very fascinating. If you're someone, if you're, you have a family, you have, small kids, you want them to, be better at sports, Florida may be the best place for you, because instead of just practicing 3 to 5 months out the year, you're basically practicing it every month out the year. It's really, a really good opportunity to go ahead and get your kids and develop your kids so that they can be the best that they can at whatever sport, outdoor sport that they may choose. And then my last thing, what most people may know, but man, it's still good. No state taxes. Man, I love the fact that there are no state taxes. New York, you get taxed heavily there, so you actually get to keep a lot of your money. And but there are some things in which you do have a trade-off with when it comes to taxes, whereas places like New York, you don't have too many toll roads. I mean, unless you're crossing the George Washington Bridge and all that, and that is a ridiculous amount of money. But there are toll roads. There are a lot of toll roads here in Florida in which you're most likely going to have to use and going to have to pay. When I lived here, it took when I first moved here, everywhere, it took only about 20 minutes to get to everywhere here in Orlando. You could go from the west side of Orlando to the east side of Orlando and in 20 minutes. Now, just because there's so many people are moving here, now it's about 30 minutes. So you got to make sure that you use your time wisely. And the best way in which you want to go and move around is most likely through those toll roads. So yeah, you don't have the state taxes, but sometimes you're going to make that up in other ways. And another way is the toll road. Well, that's enough for me rambling today. But tell me what you think about it. And if you live in Florida and you moved here recently from Florida, tell me one of the things that really shocked you. Feel free to go ahead and comment. Let's have a conversation. I'm James, and I'll talk to you soon.